The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Memo bis punitor delicatum. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You're a crook. You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this? Build up a little boy's hopes and then smash all his dreams to pieces. You're an inhuman monster. I said good day.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's me, Nicole.
And me, Tessa,
And Liana is here.
as our Oompa Loompa.
I was going to say the same thing. She's going to sing songs
Or are you
about...
Slugworth?
Oh.
No,
Sneaking
you're
out.
an
She's
Oompa
an
Loompa.
She's
You're an
going to
Oompa
sing a
Loompa.
little song if we misbehave.
We have saved her from her
Oompa
own
land.
homeland to come be a slave for our factory.
Well, and since we're talking about that, let's just get off right off the bat
Well,
the book and movie differences.
Roald Dahl was a racist. Let's just...
How did they say it in that thing? Roald?
Roald
Dahl. I always just thought it was rolled, but I guess it's Roald. Roald. Stuart. Roald. So I don't even remember if I ever read this book.
I'm sure I did.
I feel like
but-
I must have, but I don't.
Well,
I
there
don't know,
was
it
a
doesn't
couple
stand out for
because
me.
he's also responsible for a lot of books and media and stuff of that era, and the witches,
Right, the
and
witches, James
Matilda,
and
and James the
Matilda.
Giant Peach, and the big fucking deal,
Oh, the
or big fucking giant,
big fucking giant.
the BFG. Like, what else
Yeah.
am I supposed to think that's
Right.
gonna mean besides big fucking giant?
So I just,
Rolled.
instead of reading the book again, I watched
No,
some video that, and which I probably should have written down whose video this was. It was nobody I ever heard of, but they talked about all the differences between the book and the movie.
nobody I ever heard of.
But thanks for the info,
Thanks.
random YouTube stranger who I can't remember your name now. And
Thank you, YouTube stranger.
And so, of course, I don't know how long you've been listening, but if you've been listening a long time, you might know that I was on another show talking about the Tim Burton Willy Wonka and how much I hate it.
Why
and
do
the host
we
of that
have
show loved it because it's almost exact to the book.
To the book, yeah, sure, fine, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
But I don't give a
care.
shit. This is my Willy
don't
Wonka.
Care.
Mm-mm.
I don't care because Gene Wilder
Is
as
Willy
Wonka is my Willy Wonka.
Like Michael Keaton is my Batman.
exactly.
Gene
Like
Wilder
Gene
is my
Wilder
Willy
is my Willy Wonka. Period.
And so there's a few differences. There's no Tinkerer. There's no Scary
No.
Knife Man.
No, but I love that. I love that for me.
Oh yeah. There was no Scary Slugworth. I mean, Slugworth was mentioned, but was
right,
not
right. But that he
didn't-
was just another
There was no test.
candy maker.
He didn't come
and
up and
Fickelgruber was like. There's a bunch of like. There's other people. There's other candy makers
Rivals,
that are
yeah.
like rivals or whatever.
They condensed all the kids' parents. They in the book they took both their parents, but
Yeah.
they didn't have significant roles. So it was like
Right,
we can
right,
just
right.
combine these for filming.
Right. Well, that's
reasons.
why they have like names like Henry and Henrietta
Yeah.
and Joe and Josephine. George and George.
Gina and Joe
Yes,
and
yes.
Josephine. Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you
that.
heard. You heard.
In the book, Willy Wonka had facial hair, which is weird. to
That's
me. He had,
weird.
like,
I
a
don't like that.
goatee.
No. No.
Does not work for me.
No. I guess that's how you would know he was evil.
The biggest difference is the Oompa Loompas were 2-foot-tall African tribe
Well,
who Charlie smuggled out of Africa in shipping containers.
like I said, he was a racist.
And the first time Charlie saw them in the factory, he thought they were made of chocolate.
Oh. Well.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse.
Okay.
And the reason they took this out for the movie should be clear, but the NAACP got involved.
Well,
And was like,
well, it was also 1971, so they probably thought they'd get away with it.
And so his first rewrite just made the Oompa Loompas white jungle people, still in little jungle outfits.
Okay.
And then, so nobody knows for sure why they went the direction they did with this one, but it was a good fucking choice.
Well, because
because these are not people. Like, you don't see them and go affiliate them with any race.
Right. So I would imagine that they tried to figure out
how is this not offensive
to anybody.
How can we not offend any culture?
Except
I know,
for
orange
maybe
skin
little people.
and green hair. Joker's
Maybe
family's
little people.
pissed.
Well, Joker's, he's white.
Well, that's true, but he had green hair.
That's true.
So maybe they're cousins. They didn't get dipped in the acid
On
bath.
his
They got
mother's side.
natural green hair.
On his mother's side.
There is some singing in the book, but it's not all of these songs. Like the Oompa Loompa songs, I don't think are in the book.
No, I don't think they were, but it's not the...
Which
Oh,
one?
God.
Pure Imagination or
Nope.
no?
Oh, the...
Candyman?
Nope. The
Sad Charlie
boat
song?
one. The boat one. Is
Oh.
not the boat one. There's no word.
Maybe, yeah, but it wasn't
think-
supposed to be sinister.
Well, no, it wasn't supposed to be sinister, but I think that comes from the book.
Okay.
I think maybe something does, and I think it's that.
The only thing they said in this about the boat thing was that the nightmare visuals on the ride were not in the book. It wasn't supposed to be like a nightmare boat
It
ride.
wasn't a freak out.
Yes. There's no fizzy lifting drink scene. Like they do talk about the fizzy lifting drink, but they
there's
don't
not
drink it.
where they don't steal it.
Nope. The golden goose
They're squirrels.
are squirrels, which they do in the Burton movie.
Mhm, right.
Well,
Well, because that would be a logistical nightmare. Because what did you
Yes.
say they trained?
they
how
trained
many?
40 squirrels for 5 months for the Burton movie to actually get squirrels to de-shell those nuts on that platform and throw them in the hole. And then they CGI'd to fill in
That's
the room.
like hypnotizing chickens.
So yeah, the gooses were easier. Fake geese.
Right, but gooses.
Geeses. Mike Teevee gets into the Wonka Vader with his parents in the book, and he
Right.
pushes the button to go to the TV room, which is how they end up there. So there's no Wonka wash
Okay.
with the bubble, which I love that scene with the getting
Yes.
all foamy. I would have loved to. It's like those raves, the bubble rave.
Oh,
Or
that
whatever.
grosses me out so much. The foam
Or
party.
the foam party,
Nope.
yeah. I've
Nope.
never been to
Nope.
one.
There's hepatitis and
Oh,
sharks
no.
in there.
Sharks.
Hepatitis sharks.
I don't know if sharks can live in bubbles. I'm not sure.
They
They're
do in my
foam.
mind.
What else? He doesn't do the you lose, that whole
Yes, that's
amazing scene at the end, which is so scary.
I
but
get so upset.
I know.
Because that like Dabney Coleman, I always wanted Gene Wilder to
be
be
your
my
dad.
dad. Between Young Frankenstein and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, those two roles, I was like, oh, he's so magical. That and my dad kind of had the hair,
The wild hair.
the wild curly whatever before he went bald, and he didn't have the comb over. He didn't do that. He had the mullet, but not the comb over.
There you go.
So
And in the book, they showed that the kids survived the tour.
yes, which I don't like that. I like to
he
think they
says
died.
it at the end. But
I
you
know,
don't see
but I
them.
don't. But you don't want to believe him
just don't
because
know.
that's the whole thing. You never know if he's lying or not.
And in the book, they put the grandparents' whole ass bed in the Wonka Vader at the end.
Oh,
And take
gross.
it back to the
Gross.
factory.
Is their piss buckets,
Buckets
under
under
there?
there?
Also, did they take those along?
It doesn't say. Doesn't say.
They can't see, sir. Why would you put the?
So those are
Ah!
the major differences.
That's major.
Now we can talk about the cast of this film, 1971's Willy Wonka and
Oh
the
my
Chocolate
God!
Factory,
Which is, I love this fucking movie.
which was named differently because they were trying to make a Wonka bar. Quaker Oats paid for
That's
this
right.
to make a Wonka bar.
Yes, but they
they fucked up
released
the-
the thing and it they melted.
All their
on
Wonka
the
bars
shelves.
melted on the shelves.
Right. So they had, and it turned out the movie did better than
Even though the movie didn't do great at
No,
the time.
it didn't. Not at the time, but it's become a classic. Everybody
sure.
loves this movie. If you don't love this movie, fuck you.
At least for sure, our generation, everybody loves this movie. And while this movie could give you nightmares, the Tim Burton one gave you nightmares for all the wrong reasons.
The reason that I love this movie is because of how off-putting it is. Even the parts, which we'll get there, but even the parts in between when they're looking for the tickets, when he's
Yeah.
talking to the computer and the newsman, all that shit is so fucking bizarre.
Well, and it's also British comedy
Right.
stuff
And
happening.
it's really dry. It's
Uh-huh.
super weird. That's what I love
Yes.
about this fucking movie.
It's very bizarre.
It's weird. It's so weird.
And so after Gene Wilder, who do we have in our cast?
Peter Ostrum as Charlie Bucket.
Diana Sowell as Mrs. Bucket.
Oh, okay. I had all the kids, and then
I did
all
the
of the
parent, the kid, the parent, the kid.
Ah, see, and I did all the kids, and then I did all the parents.
Damn!
and
Now we're
whatever.
gonna be screwed up. Okay, you do all the kids, and I'll do all the parents.
All right. So then we have Denise Nickerson as Violet Beauregard, Paris Themmen as Mike Teevee.
What a name for an American dude.
I know.
Paris Themmen.
Paris Themmen. Like, that was a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
He would have been born in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So they named him
Or late
Paris.
50s, depending on how old he was right there. But yeah, that's a strange name because I want to say he was from like Minnesota or something. Or,
yeah. Like, Paris was a wild name to
Uh-huh.
give a kid in that time,
it was.
especially a boy
Mm-hmm.
in that time. So yeah, anyway, Julie Dawn Cole as Veruca, Michael Bollner as Augustus Gloop. So those were the kids.
And then I have Roy Kinnear as Mr. Salt,
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Stone as Mr. Beauregard, Nora Denny as Mrs. TV, and Ursula Wright as Mrs. Gloop.
I also have Michael Goodliff as Mr. TV because he's in there for a second.
Let's not forget Jack Albertson is the piece
let's
of
not
shit
fucking
Grandpa
forget.
Joe.
Because he won't fucking let us forget that his ass is there, this gold brickin' son of a bitch.
By now, the internet has all realized
Everybody
that
knows.
Grandpa Joe is trash, but we are going to
Well, you know we're going to do
take
it.
him down all the rest of the pegs.
He makes me so
in this
fucking
episode.
angry. He makes me so fucking angry. You know what? He's dead, and we could probably go to his grave,
And spit on
raise
it.
him up with voodoo, and beat the shit out of him.
No, we
This
just
is
need
for
to,
Charlie,
we
you
need to
dick.
dance a jig on his grave.
Ooh, you know what? Is he buried in a place where they show the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh
Because
my
I will do
God.
the time warp on his head.
His head. And then I have also Gunther Meisner as
yes.
Mr. Slugworth.
That picture that they have on the thing, he like played a
On
Nazi at some
IMDb,
point.
yeah.
Not just a Nazi. It
Hitler.
looked like he played
It looked
Hitler.
like he played Hitler.
And that's
And I have
scary enough.
Aubrey Woods as Bill the Candyman.
I also have Peter Capel as Mr. Turkentine. Or
Is
no,
that-
the Tinker.
Oh, the Tinker.
Werner Hayking as Mr. Jopic. And oh no, you got that.
Aubrey
Aubrey
Woods I
Woods. Oh, David Battleby as Mr. Turkentine, and Peter Stewart as Winkleman. That
Which one's
kid.
Winkleman?
The kid they ask him multiple times. The one he was like, he tells him it's a fraud, and he's also at the candy shop.
Oh, from the classroom?
Yeah,
Oh,
the kid with
okay.
the bowl cut.
Okay.
The one that looks like Mo.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Oh, and I also have the name of all the Oompa Loompas.
Go ahead.
Randy Borgstaller, George Clayton, Malcolm Dixon, Rusty Goff, Ismed Hassan, Norman McGlenn, Angela Muscat, Pepe Poupe.
Oh, Piccola Poopala.
Yes. Marcus Powell and Albert Wilkerson was the name of, I don't know who's who, but those
'Cause,
were
yeah,
the
they
Oompa
don't give 'em
Loompas. They
any
should be
name.
at least acknowledged.
Of
I
course, of
guess.
course.
I guess.
So we open with a montage of the actual chocolate making process.
And this is the Toblerone factory.
Ooh, and it looks so delicious.
Oh my God. This is as good as an animated opening to me.
Just about, yeah.
If you show me, this reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when they would do the
Go to
picture in
the-
picture.
Yeah.
And you would go to the eraser factory. Or,
Yes.
you know, like all that shit. Like, this is what that reminds me of. And it's just as good as an animated opening to me. It looks so good.
And you get a lovely little melody only montage of all the songs in the
Yes.
movie over this candy making process.
Yes.
And then the bell chimes and all the kids run out of school.
They run out to the candy shop. There's a lot of fucking kids.
A lot of kids. And they do not look for traffic. They just
Nope. They're
mob
just
into
running
the
out
street.
into the fucking street.
And we go to the candy shop
Mm-hmm.
and just right away, the candy man,
Bill is
candy
just
maker just out
handing
there
shit,
handing out.
fucking bop, bop, bop. Like,
take a sunrise,
sprinkle it with dew.
So yeah, he
Yeah.
sings his Candyman song, and he's just
I know. Is
these
this free
kids. I
candy
see no
day? Do
money
they have a
being
tab?
exchanged.
No. It makes it extra weird because later when he's like
to Charlie, and you're like, excuse me.
so Charlie can't
pay.
afford to run with the rest of the children to make it for free candy song time.
Well, I put that it's that he's so weak from malnutrition.
Oh, probably.
That he just doesn't have the
That's a really
energy to run out of school.
That's a really good point.
And so he got there like 1 minute too late.
He did not make it for free candy
And
song
I think
time.
there's like a rule where if you don't make it by the time I say the Candyman can,
right, you have to
free
pay
candy
for it.
time's
Well,
over.
like the other girl, like she paid for it by getting her face bopped by that.
She did. They lift that fucking counter. He goes to lift that counter, and you
She's
see
like,
her
"Bah!"
head just throw back.
And they just keep the
Oh,
show
yeah.
must
She
show
goes right
must
in.
go on.
She's like, you said free candy though, right?
Yeah, no, I'm coming back. I
coming.
want it. He lets him have a run of the whole fucking store.
He's
like
pushing
a bunch
them on the ladder, letting them pick whatever they want. And
those
I'm like,
little candy dots that taste like fucking nothing. You got to
just
eat off
ripping
paper.
them, big old long strips of them,
Yes.
passing them out.
He's not keeping track
No.
of any of this shit.
No. And
No.
so what is it about Charlie? Is it the amount of teeth he has? How do you know?
He cannot, in good conscience, give him any candy.
He's like, you know what?
He's
This is a
like, you have
liability
4
for me.
teeth in your
Yeah.
head.
He's like, someone gonna sue me.
I already know
free
you're
candy.
poor. You can't afford the dentistry.
Exactly.
I can't afford the dentistry.
Nobody can afford.
Nobody
the
can
dentistry.
afford
Those are
the
premium
dentistry.
bones. Premium bones.
Premium Bones. Your Premium Bones subscription has lapsed.
Yes. So Charlie's sadly watching at the window as all the not even rich kids, just
No,
every
it's just
other
the
kid
other
but him.
kid in every single other kid in the
You're
neighborhood.
telling me
talks
he
to me,
lives
he's
in a
like,
neighborhood where he's the only poor kid?
yes, and he's too poor to afford free candy time. This is some
That's
fucked
fucking
up shit.
poor. He got negative dollars.
That is fucking poor. Well, like we
Oh.
discussed, these kids' parents must have a tab.
They
It's like a
must.
bar. He's got like little drinks. He's giving them like they're all
Yeah,
like
he's at the soda
unwinding
fountain.
after the fucking school
yeah.
day. Shit is wild.
And if I were those parents, I would be pissed at the Candyman.
You're getting them all fucking
After a
wired
day
up
of
and
school, before dinner, when I need them to come home
You
and
know
do your
what? They
homework.
crash so fucking hard.
That's true. Maybe
They
they're
crash
into it.
so fucking hard
Oh,
after
yeah,
they
go ahead,
eat
get
their
'em
like
ramped up.
Salisbury steak dinner because you know they have real food.
I just smelled.
Charlie has
I just
to go
smelled
home.
that
I
in my
know.
brain, like the
I know.
TV dinner.
I kind of
Salisbury
want a
steak.
meatloaf now.
And you know what's weird is like I never enjoy it as much as I think I'm going to. It's one of those
Oh,
where you're like
a
the
hungry
memory the memory smell where you're like,
Yes.
oh, it's gonna be good, and you're like,
No,
no,
it's not. It's not
good.
That disgusting melted brownie in the upper left-hand corner
With
of the
with
fucking
one
tray.
kernel of corn in it that popped out from the corn one. And you're like, now it's ruined.
Oh God
Now
damn
it tastes like fucking corn. I'm not
now
even
it
eating
tastes
it
like
now.
fucking corn.
Not
Never
eating
gonna
this.
digest this shit.
Oh, anyway. So Charlie sadly goes to
Well,
get his
first-
newspapers to deliver.
The Candyman tells him, he's like, "Oh, yo, guess what? I heard that Wonka's got a new one.
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
scrumdiddlyumptious bar."
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Right, like he's handing out fucking free samples, whatever. Yeah. So then Charlie goes to his job.
Yeah,
'cause
picks
he
up
has
his
to work.
papers, gets his first payday of like what 50 cents for the week, or if
Probably
that, 2 bits.
It's like 2 bits.
Got a shave and a haircut.
2 bits. I can't help it. I'm just like a fucking tune. I have to.
Can't leave it.
2 bits.
So he walks past the Wonka factory and stops to stare inside the gates.
Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. He lives locally
Right.
because of what happens later. So this just happens to be in his hometown, in his neighborhood. He walks by the Wonka factory and he's looking through the little fence.
And all of a sudden,
Down the airy mountain,
the
through
tinkerer
the whatever
appears.
glen. We dare not go a hunting for fear of little men.
nobody ever goes in.
And nobody ever comes out.
Rattle, 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 rattle.
I
He
know.
just,
Like,
like,
he fucking
backs
like, how
his-
did he sneak up on him?
on the cobblestone road with a
I don't
fucking-
like the Tinker. The Tinker gives me the
and
fucking
I,
creep.
and I don't understand why he exists, because if he's not in the book and the conversation
to
he has with his grandpa,
unsettle you.
yeah,
To unsettle you.
this dude wanted to unsettle you, because I don't think the book was meant to be unsettling.
No, this
It was
movie
just
is
a
meant to
happy
be
little-
unsettling. That's why
Yeah.
I like it so much, and that's why Marilyn Manson liked it so much.
Oh,
Because we're going to talk about that whole album
Of
too.
course,
Because
of
they
course.
use
so much of this,
shit. The fucking Tinkerman and the boat and the snozberries and the boys taste like boys and girls taste like girls.
Yep. Yep. So he goes home to talk to Grandpa Joe.
Yes.
Or well, first they're talking about before he gets home about how Charlie works. Joe over here talking about Charlie's working too hard for a little boy. Sir.
Then get the fuck up, you dick.
Because the mom's like, well, the four of you have been bedridden for 20 years.
Which you brought up and I never fucking thought about.
So before Charlie was a twinkle in his father's eye,
right?
These fools been up in this bed. And she's
so
supposed to be, what, 25? She looks 45, but how old is she supposed to be?
Probably. She's probably supposed to be 29.
If he's 12, she's 32.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I bet she had him around 20. So she's supposed to be, like, in her 30s, which means they've been in that bed since she was a child.
Yes.
What?
When this husband that's probably
How
out there
old is
somewhere.
Oh, and because, he's probably 20 years older than her.
Well, her parents look fucking older because we decided that Grandpa Joe
and Georgina are the dad's parents.
Them's the buckets.
That's the buckets.
Them's
Joe
the buckets. Joe and Josephine.
And I looked that up, and it did say he's Charlie's paternal grandfather. So that's Daddy's dad.
Right. That's why he's an asshole.
And in the books, that's another difference, is that Dad's alive, like in the book.
Right. Yeah.
movie,
No, he's part of this
book.
whole thing in the book, but in the movie, he's.
They
not
just
a part
wanted
of
to
this
make
whole
it even more. They wanted you to hate Grandpa Joe even more because in the book they don't make you hate Grandpa Joe. They make it seem like a miracle,
right?
That he got out of bed. It's not just like
he makes this seem like this is cocaine.
You saw that nail.
Everybody
I saw knows that about that coke nail.
I've seen it.
Grandpa Joe in action.
I've seen Jack Albertson from Beyond the Grave. I'm gonna get on that Ouija board.
And he starts on his bullshit about when I get my strength back.
Oh, bitch!
When
you
my
go out
cocaine
every
delivery
motherfucking
arrives.
night. You go out every motherfucking night.
Because she says, I have yet to see you set foot on this floor. Which means how she
it's
changing
so
these
cold.
sheets.
You know what? There's a way to do it.
You gotta just roll them.
There is a
four
way
of them,
to
though. So
No.
you gotta roll them all one direction, get the one corners off.
Yes.
You gotta roll them back the other direction, pull that out from underneath, get the other corners off.
A while.
But to get it back on would, I think, be even harder to get the clean
the
ones
bed
on.
transfer and all that shit with the thing without a lift is like.
This woman just by herself? Because Charlie's
Yes.
what, 10, 12?
Yes. I'm sure she's got him helping her.
Now,
has
but
to.
not for the 10 years.
Well, that's
you know
true,
what I
when he
mean.
was
Not
an
strong
infant.
enough to
While
help.
she was pregnant,
and they don't say when Dad died. He could have died 6 months ago. He could have
That's
died
true.
the year Charlie was born. We have absolutely
That's
no
true. We
idea
don't
how long
really
she's
know.
been alone.
we don't know.
And I'm sorry, your parents go somewhere
I
else.
will
My
kill
husband dies.
these old people.
I
will
changing
kill
the
these old
bedpans
people.
of your
No,
parents.
I sure the fuck am not.
No.
I sure the fuck am not. I will make sure they're in a nice place.
Yeah.
I will make sure they're in a nice place.
I'm not trying to kick them to the gutter, but like I'm not doing this personally.
I'm pretty sure well that's the thing is I'm like 100% sure I'm responsible for my mother.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm the only child, so yeah.
I'm responsible for my mom. You're responsible for your parents, whatever they have. Like he's got siblings. It's just me and my brother.
Right, and my husband also has siblings, and so I'm
Right.
you got 3 brothers that can help you.
You're
for my mom, it's
responsible
just
for your
me.
parents-
So
your parents, I'm responsible for my mom. I have already taken that on as a thing that I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna put her someplace like Shady Pines, Ma.
well, and my grandma's 89 and still lives by herself and drives herself
That's
places. So I ain't
insane.
trying to be no Grandpa Joe. I have absolutely no intention of anybody in my family being a Grandpa Joe.
No,
Not if
like
my
that.
90-year-old grandma out
Not
there
like
tooling
that.
around on her own.
Well, that's my grandparents too. Like I still have 2 grandparents,
Yeah.
and they live out there and do whatever,
Whatever it is they're doing out there, living out
They
there.
built that fucking house they live in. I'm gonna be sad to see that house go because I'm not living there.
Is that the one in like Nevada or
Yeah,
somewhere?
I'm not fucking living
nobody
there. I
wants to
love
live
that
out
fucking
there.
house, but I ain't fucking living there.
So Charlie comes home, kisses them all hello, and
Yes.
sees that they're eating cabbage water for dinner and is like, that's not enough.
That's all we have.
Well, look what I got.
Oh, a loaf of bread. Where'd you get it? Who gives a shit?
Even if he stole it, eat the goddamn bread and shut your
gives
mouth.
a shit. But he paid for it with his first paycheck.
payday, with
And
enough
he gives
to
some money
leftover
to
for
his
mom.
mama. And then he's got money for this motherfucker's pipe tobacco.
Your pipe tobacco.
It's
You're
one
still
pipe a day, Dad.
You've been smoking this pipe for your whole damn life. You've been making this woman work extra for your 20 cents a week.
He goes out at night to the fucking opium dens.
Yeah. Yep.
He's getting his wiener touched. He's smoking
And
some
then he's
opium.
sleeping all day like he's an old ass
Yeah.
man because he is high and he's
like
sleeping
he's
it off.
feeble. This motherfucker.
Tessa's about to punch me and I'm not Grandpa Joe.
I would
We're
never
gonna have to give her a punching bag.
I'm gonna see your face, like his
Just all of
face
a
over
sudden,
your
I'm like,
face.
oh no! Like when you're hungry and you
He's
see
been
hot
dead
dogs
for
over
like
people.
50 fucking years.
So yeah, he's like, no, I'm gonna give it up, Charlie, and he's like, please let me contribute to you dying faster, Grandpa.
Yeah,
I
because
must
want
pay
you to
for your
fucking die.
tobacco.
Yeah, I just want you to die.
So he tells the grandpa about the tinkerer
Yes.
and what he told him, and the grandpa's like, he's
Like,
right.
oh yeah, like it was weird. It was like everything closed down because they were trying to get in there and steal his shit. And then out of nowhere, 3 years later, all of the stuff started up, but no one ever knows how he
Nobody
does it.
sees who works there.
Right. Nobody
Nobody
who
in the
fucking
town
there.
works
Right.
there. So at school the next day, is it Mr. Turpentine? What's his name?
Mr. Turkentine.
Oh, Turkentine.
Yeah.
Who reminds me of like a Monty Python character
it gives
or something.
me very much that. And I really love this character. Like,
He's such a buffoon.
I know when he talks about, he's like, so it just occurred to me instead of having the test on Fridays after we have learned the lesson, we're going to have it on Mondays before we learned it.
Yeah.
But now, because it's Tuesday, it doesn't matter in the slightest. So anyway.
But so this lesson he's doing is let's mix a bunch of dangerous chemicals.
Yes. He's like, I've got nitroglycerin.
And we're going to do it evenly, which means not that we're going to measure.
no, we're just going to pour
You
it all.
pour while I pour.
You get this shit that's
And he gives Charlie 2 of the
It's a
dangerous
wart
chemicals.
remover, which is what a Veruca is.
Right. Oh, interesting. So they were trying
It's
to remove her before
it's
they
a
met her.
Foot wart is what's
A Veruca.
what the word is for a Veruca. There's a couple different spellings, but that's what it is.
Yes, I knew it was something gross. But.
It's gross. It's a Veruca. It's a foot wart.
So yeah, they mix up the dangerous chemicals. It of course
Right.
like pops in his face.
Everybody cheers anyway.
And there's a hubbub in the hall.
Mm.
Wonka's opening the factory. It's giving
What?
chocolate away.
Class dismissed.
5 golden tickets, and the people who find them win a big prize. And the teacher's going to let them out early, but then they're like, well, not
class
for everybody.
undismissed.
5
Yeah,
people.
hold on, like only 5 people.
But you get
have
them
to
from
fight.
opening Wonka bars.
Class
redismissed.
redismissed.
This dude's. And so my question right away is, only people with kids won this contest. There was no stipulation that it was for children. His whole premise was he wanted to find a child.
Well, and also you have to understand that like Slugworth is present immediately.
Not
at
just
each one of
immediately,
these
but
things.
yeah, like when one of them finds the ticket, he's
I
there.
feel like because it's magic, Willy Wonka
But
somehow
would
chose
these be
children.
the children he chose? He chose 4
'cause he didn't
shitty ass
give it-
kids.
because he wouldn't feel bad about killing them.
Well, but he wanted to find a kid who was going to be good to take over his factory. So if
He somehow knew that Charlie would be. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Don't ask for an explanation. It's wild.
So yeah, Charlie's not excited. He's the only one who just walks out slowly and
He's
sadly
like, I
while
can't
everyone
afford
runs out.
chocolate.
And then the news reports start coming in.
Hmm.
The buckets are watching at home as news reports from all over the world are showing bars disappearing off the shelf at an alarming rate. Wonka mania.
Yes.
And then they show this man in therapy.
Oh God.
So now
he's
this is where we
dreaming of it.
start with the whole
This
weird.
is, okay, yeah.
sketch
all of
show
these
or
little
whatever.
in-between things are so bizarre, and I love them. He's at his therapist appointment.
And this is
about how
nobody.
he's-
This is
No,
just some
It
dude.
has nothing to do with anything. He has a dream about where the golden
The
ticket is.
archangel appeared and
Yes.
told me where to find a golden ticket.
And where was that? What does it matter? It was a fantasy. It was a dream. Tell me where the ticket is.
And the first ticket is found in
Dusselheim.
Dusselheim, Germany, which they filmed this in Germany. I think we forgot to say, right?
Yeah,
This is
they
all in
did. Yeah,
Germany.
all of this in Germany. It's like a never-ending story.
Mm-hmm.
It was a German production.
And Augustus Gloop has won the first
I
ticket.
love how they have the reporter and he's standing in front of the antlers.
Yes, right when they open the shot. Yeah.
And it was like, how do you feel? He's like, hungry.
Yes, and they try to interview his dad, and he just
He
eats
eats
the
the-
microphone.
Which is funny because the dad looks like what Augustus looked like.
Because we watched what he looked like grown up, and yes, he
Yes.
did look a lot
He
like the
looked
dad.
like that guy. So
and
like
he was dressed like Augustus Gloop, so it was weird in
I
this
know,
interview.
like, he
Everyone
was-
else was dressed like
I
themselves,
guess
but
they
him.
all like they get together and do well. Not Denise Nickerson. She's the only one that's passed away now. I think everybody else is still alive. But
Okay.
her. All the kids.
All the kids, yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, they interview him, and Slugworth comes up next to him and whispers something in his ear,
Right,
but you
or
don't hear
somebody.
what. Or somebody.
We don't know that.
And so
he's
now
Slugworth
this
yet.
one, because at this point it's already hit the news.
Right.
Okay, maybe this dude did not premonition. You know what I mean? Maybe he wasn't there when he found the ticket the way he shows up later. So this one
Well,
you could say, all right,
Okay.
whatever. The news already
He
knew.
gets closer and closer
Yes.
every time.
So it's Charlie's birthday
Mm-hmm. He gets a scarf
from the
a
grandmas.
big cable knit sweater, and someone keeps knitting, knitting.
I know it still had like loose threads hanging
I know
off
she
the
was
end.
like, I knitted it with the little tassels, but I can't fucking see, so it looks like shit.
And grandpas together got him a Wonka bar.
But it's not this. It's not the right.
It's a goddamn moon pie. Ain't gonna be no golden ticket in a
It's
goddamn moon
scooter
pie.
pie.
I'm sorry, but if you're looking for a golden ticket, that ain't gonna be the bar you're gonna find it in.
Nope.
Not in the circular candy.
They said Wonka bars.
Bars. You wasted your tobacco money.
Yes.
And where? So did Mom go out for this?
No, he did.
Joe.
Joe.
And how long you been keeping it under your ass before you hand him his birthday
Oh,
chocolate?
it's
Because
a
he was
melted
like he
ass
pulled it out from
chocolate.
under.
Oh, melted ass
In that
scooter
bed?
pie. I know it smells wild.
I would say
in there.
under his bed
It
sores, but Joe
smells-
ain't got none because he been out that bed.
You know what bed sores smell like?
I don't.
Bed sores smell like dog food. It smells like kibble. It smells
weird.
like Purina. That's what it smells like.
How odd.
I have seen them to the bone.
Ugh.
It is disgusting and really like it's awful, but hot.
Oy.
They have a smell, and the smell is kibble.
Okie dokie. Moving
That's
on.
what it smells like. Aside from the bedpans and the sheets,
I can't.
I know
imagine
she's
the
a
smell of that
laundress.
place. And
But
the
those are
mildew.
for
because-
old people's smell away. She's bathing these people.
And I'm sorry, she's gone working at the laundry all
That's
day.
what I'm
Charlie's
saying.
at school. Ain't nobody changing no bedpans.
Nope.
So when you get
Nope.
home, first thing
And
after
you know
the
Joe
laundry,
ain't doing that shit. Joe ain't doing that shit. Joe ain't pitching.
And what's he
in.
doing to get them to not tell on him about getting out of bed every night? Does he just wait till they're gone, until
They
they're
just
asleep?
he
or
just
like,
gaslights them, like they say shit, and he's like, "Oh, that's
oh,
wild.
sure, you hallucinated that.
Yeah,
Must've been a
exactly.
dream.
You're demented."
So now we get to the factory, the salts factory,
Right,
The
the-
nut factory,
Nuts.
where
Pud-
Veruca is bitching at her father.
Oh, why haven't they found it yet? I
my
want it
golden
now.
ticket now, Daddy.
He's like, I got him working like double time.
And then he offers a 1 pound bonus in their weekly check.
Why would you not just keep it?
And they go insane for 1
They
pound.
love it.
They're just
Like you could
"Woo!"
just get free chocolate if you just take it.
Yes. And
Why do
he's
you
telling
care if this little bitch gets it?
I know. 19,000 bars an hour
Fuck
they've been unwrapping.
Her.
For 5 days.
Nah.
So finally, somebody
I mean,
finds
they're
it.
watching her.
Yeah.
They're watching them.
And Slugworth is there in the factory.
He's in the
So now
That's what I'm
this
saying.
is the one where for sure, Wonka knew where this one was
He's-
going to show up.
lucky bolts of lightning, my ass.
And I really feel like Veruca Salt, if he knew anything about her, it would be known that she a brat.
oh, she's terrible. Well, he couldn't wait to kill her.
Because like Augustus, you don't know. He's
he
just
could be fine.
He's just
you
a
know,
hungry
he's
kid.
He's a glutton. Is
Doesn't
this
mean
not
he's a
the
piece of shit.
7 deadly sins?
Well, except for there aren't 7 of them, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. The 5 deadly sins.
So yeah, so somebody finds the ticket. He Slugworth intercepts whatever when the handoff and whispers
She's like,
something
I
in her
won
ear.
it. I won. I got a golden ticket, this bitch.
You didn't win
No.
shit. That young woman there won.
Right? So now 43 days in, like things are wild.
Everything's being sold out
Oh
everywhere.
my God, the guy with the computer.
The computer scientist guy. He's got this like group of rich men. He's like, I
Right.
can calculate where the remaining bars are located.
He's like, if you tell me, I'll gladly share with you. Like it says,
Tells
like,
the
computer's
the
like-
computer.
He's like, I can't tell you, that would be cheating. He was like, no, I'll share with you the grand prize. What would a computer do
With a
lifetime supply of chocolate? I'm telling you what a computer could do with a lifetime supply of chocolate. Like he's all pushing buttons aggressively.
And the computer part happens in the book, I guess, but instead of it spitting out any messages, it just like explodes. Like it can't calculate it.
It still doesn't want to cheat.
Yeah. So the third winner is announced. It's
Violet Beauregard.
Her dad's a used car salesman.
Right. And she's normally a gum chewer. Oh, God, it's gross.
Through the hole. She's chewing gum.
Hi, Cornelia. Hi, sweetie.
And she's been chewing this gum for how long?
Months.
3 months or something.
Something gross.
And Slugworth is already there.
And she looked like, before she died, like Denise Nickerson looked like she had been chewing gum her whole entire
jawline was
life.
hard.
It was hard.
She was muscular in the face.
Right. It looked like she'd been chewing gum her entire fucking life.
She's been working it
I
out.
bought it.
And now I don't know if we want to take a break. It's 35 minutes, or do we want to get through all of the winners?
Well, we have that boring part. Like this is the whole
I just
part.
wrote, Mom, he meets her in the
That's what I'm
laundry
saying.
and she sings that
Everybody
sad
skips
song.
this part.
It's
so we
too
can
sad.
skip this part too. This is
Cheer
where
up,
we're gonna
Charlie.
take.
That's all you
You
need
know
to
what?
know.
We're gonna take a break over Cheer Up Charlie. Go watch Cheer Up Charlie if you fucking feel like it. But when we come back, we're gonna be done with Cheer Up Charlie. Okay?
We'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back. We're skipping Cheer Up Charlie because fuck it.
Mike Teevee finds ticket number 4.
Yep, and he won't answer until a station break.
And I could never not see him as baby Jay Leno.
I know a little bit.
The eyes
A
and
little
the mouth,
bit.
He's giving baby Jay Leno vibes.
Yeah.
He just needs a chin.
Right. Oddly enough, not the chin.
Yeah.
Just everything else.
And his mom's like all proud that he's never even eaten at the dinner table.
No, she serves all his
meals in
TV
front of
dinners.
the TV. Yep.
Gross. And Slugworth is there with
Already
his
in their house.
microphoneography.
Yes.
And his dad's like, he's like, oh, I can't wait to get a real Colt 45. And his dad's like, not till you're 12, son.
Uh-huh.
And this is where what I told you, like they spell it two different ways. Teevee for Mrs. Teevee and Mike Teevee. And Mr. Teevee was spelled Teavee.
Weird. Must
I
just
don't
be
know
a
why.
typo.
It must have been.
So now another news report talking about there only being one ticket left.
Yeah, shit's getting weird.
And Grandpa Joe wakes Charlie up that night and pulls another Wonka bar out from his stinky ass pillow.
Gross. He's like, that's supposed to be for tobacco. And he's like, I told you, I'm giving it up. So, like, go ahead.
Yeah, push it back and forth to each other.
Like, no,
who's
you
gonna
open it. No, you open it. And he's like, open a little bit on the corner and then open the rest of it.
And again, no ticket.
Oh, I bet all that gold makes the chocolate taste. And I teared up.
When he
I
didn't get the
teared
ticket
up when
this
he
time.
said that. I was like, oh, this poor kid. His grandpa's doing him a disservice.
Yeah, by getting him all gassed up.
Like,
thinking
you
he's
know,
gonna
you
win.
could only afford.
Right? These other kids are eating, we find out later, 100,
Like,
150
yeah, and he's
fucking
like, I
bars.
opened 2.
Sad.
Sad.
So then we see, like, it's getting crazy. There's auctions for the last cases of Wonka bars.
Your Majesty.
This woman whose husband was kidnapped.
Oh, she's so dramatic. Anything they want.
And then they're like, oh, they want your case of Wonka bars. And she's like,
How long will they give me to think it over?
and they don't have no kids. So what if she won?
I know. Like, well, she's not going to go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it had to have been planned to be children to
She
get
did
it.
not have a golden ticket in her fucking lot.
But if you plan to make sure certain kids got these tickets, why would you not plan it to be a group of kids you thought might actually take over your fucking chocolate factory?
well, I don't know.
Like, I don't
Well, because
understand
he
why
needed
he
the
picked 4
variety.
shitty kids.
He needed to have the lessons.
I guess he needed the Oompa Loompas needed something to do.
Well, they
weren't busy enough making all.
they
of the
showed up
chocolate.
to be in slavery. It's slavery.
And then we get a report that the 5th ticket has been found.
It's
in
over.
Paraguay. It's all
In-
over.
Right here in Paraguay.
And
this
Charlie's
person is
crying
like
in
a
bed.
Nazi
Oh,
criminal.
are they?
That picture, it's of an actual
Of who
Nazi.
won?
Yeah, of whatever. It's
Oh,
like the picture
shit.
that they use. It was like some Nazi doctor
What?
or whatever. I
So
looked it up and I
weird.
saw it, but there is whatever. But anyway, he was a gambler. He has a bunch of casinos in Paraguay. And they were like, "Oh, don't wake him. Let him have one last dream."
But
But he could
heard
hear
this
that
all,
shit
yeah.
because they live in a shack.
I know. Like, how does he even have his own room? These 4 adults sleep in one bed, and the child
He
has
sleeps
his own
in the
room?
rafters
Maybe
on laundry.
he's just under the bed between the bedpans.
Oh, gross. He's nose blind. He has to
He
be.
has to be.
By
Absolutely.
now, he has no sense of
When
smell.
like this is supposed to be, even though it's Germany, it's supposed to be what, London 1970s?
Or
is
it's
it supposed to be older than that?
ambiguous as to where he's
Because they've
at.
got cobblestone roads, so it makes you
I
think
know.
it's even older than 70s.
Well, I know. It's like a weird village that they fucking live in.
And like if they still have, well, I guess not that they still have bedpans. We still have bedpans today.
You would tell. Well, what's
how
she
else
gonna
do you-
do? How else do you take care of 4 bedridden?
Is she gonna be
people?
all day long like helping them to the bathroom? Like,
Well, how much do they fucking shit? Well, with
And I
cabbage
bet there's
water,
an
you know what?
outhouse.
Kind of a lot.
so it's outside probably to go to
She
the
also
bathroom.
uses the bedpan. She's like, well,
She's
fuck
like,
it. I'm
"Fuck
already
it,
gonna
it's cold
clean them
out
out.
here, man.
I'm not going out there
If
without
I'm cleaning
shoes on.
4 other people's shit up, I will clean my own shit
She
up.
shits
as well.
in the fucking corner. She didn't give a shit. She does
It
in the
all
corner.
smells the same.
It all doesn't matter. She doesn't shit either because she doesn't eat.
True. What is
She
there?
eats
Well, it's
last.
cabbage water, so it's all liquid.
She drinks. She pees.
out her butt.
She got pee butt. Cabbage pee butt.
Oh, the smell. So the next day at school, Mr. Turkentine's doing
Yes.
Wonka bar math to teach them percentages.
Right.
And that's when he starts asking everybody, how many bars you open? 100. How many
Right.
you open? 150.
150.
Charlie, how many you open?
2.
200. All right.
No, just 2.
Well, I can't do the math on that. You can't do the math on
Of course
2?
he can't because he's nonsense.
He has no idea what he's
He's
talking about.
nonsensical.
So he's all whatever. He walks home and with his head down and he sees this. What is it? $1?
It's like a little
pound
coin
coin.
in the fucking drain. And
Tell
this
the
is
story.
if I don't fucking say it, my son will hate me. He told me to bring up because in the new one, Willy Wonka, there's a couple Easter eggs. Willy Wonka drops a coin into the drain, the last of his money. And this is supposedly the coin that Charlie finds.
Right. So this is
because this is
Wonka's
before.
coin.
It was the before times.
So now he knows the contest is over. So but like, I get a sense just from this scene, you get from the way he finds it and the look on his face and the way he looks at the candy store, he doesn't want to hate chocolate because of this.
No.
And so he's like, you know what?
Well, that
I'm
and he
gonna go
hasn't
in and
eaten
just get
forever.
yeah. I found some money. I'm gonna go get some chocolate just for the pleasure
On the
of
down
having
low.
some chocolate.
Right. Because even the bill tells him like, oh, I don't have to hide him anymore.
Right. So he been stashing them.
Right.
He had the damn tickets
He's
the
been
whole damn time.
This motherfucker.
Fucking Bill.
Well, Willy Wonka knew it.
yeah.
Willy Wonka knew it.
And he goes in. He wants the biggest chocolate bar there is, and he's like, "Oh,
A
scrumdiddlyumptious."
scrumdiddlyumptious bar.
And he just starts fucking mowing it down, and it's like full of marshmallow or something.
I don't know
Like,
what
whew.
they look
It
like
was
little
white inside.
yeah, it was white inside.
I hope it was marshmallow.
Oh.
And so he takes off. The dude's like, "What?" And of course, he wants his
He's
money.
like, yeah, he wants
Bill's
his money.
like,
That's not free. That's not free
It's not free for
candy
you.
song day.
It's not free. No.
That was not
This is
free
not
candy
that day.
song day.
Yeah. And so he's like, you know what? He goes back for one more because he
He's
got
like, let me
change
get he got a little bit of change. He's like, let me get another one
for Grandpa
for
Joe.
Grandpa Joe.
For
He's
my
like, well,
piece of shit grandfather.
my piece of shit asshole grandfather. Let me get one of those for him because he gave up pipe tobacco recently, so I should get him some chocolate.
Right.
And Bill's like, well, why don't you take a regular one right off the front? Right
Perfectly,
off the
yep.
front.
Mm-hmm.
Hands him the little Wonka bar. So Charlie goes outside and he hears a commotion.
Extra scandal. The
Right.
fifth ticket was a phony, and
It
there's
was a
one
fake.
still left.
And he's like, oh, fuck.
He gets this little smile.
Maybe.
He goes off into the corner alone to open his Wonka bar.
And he opens it real slow.
He got it.
Oh, it's you.
This
you have-
woman.
oh
these
my
people
God, like,
assault him. Like I
they
thought he was gonna
grabbed-
lose it.
I mean,
They
he
could have
could've
snatched that
gotten
out
it
of his hand
snatched.
easy.
Easy.
But the
easy.
Mr. Kopech's like, but.
Oh, hey.
I know
Run
this kid.
home, Charlie.
And don't stop. But
Yes.
he does stop because Slugworth stops him.
Oh, he stops him in the tunnel. He steps out and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Slugworth.
I'll give you 10,000 bones.
Right? Your family will live
Bring
comfortably.
me the everlasting gobstopper.
Remember the name, Everlasting Gobstoppers.
And he walks off and allows Charlie to continue his 4-tooth reveal
Right, I was
run.
gonna say he's got his mouth wide open, catching
So,
all the bugs because there's only 4 teeth in his head.
Nothing
to stop
stopping the gnats
Nope.
from getting in.
Nothing at all, because he goes down to Poor Town where there's fleas flying
God.
into his mouth.
And speaking of fleas, he runs in and announces to everybody.
I got it!
And they're like, Charlie, come on.
That's not fucking funny.
They already found him.
Well,
all.
because he already fucking cried wolf once.
Right, because he
'Cause
pretended he
did the
got
thing,
it.
It's
and
like,
he didn't
no,
get
and
it.
I
Yeah.
didn't get it anyway. But then they were like, no, they found it's already over. And he's like, no, it was a fake. And then he's like, shows the ticket to Grandpa Joe.
Who reads it out loud.
How? Without his fucking readers?
And he reads that it says that he can bring
Because
one
he's healthy
member,
as fuck.
He can bring one member of his family to the factory. And,
On the 1st of October, which is tomorrow.
and Charlie's first thought is not his poor, overworked
Nope.
mother.
Nope. It's
It's
Grandpa Joe.
I wish you could go.
Bedridden Grandpa Joe.
Wish you could go, Grandpa Joe. Well, guess what? Well, you know how I'm feeling a little bit.
Oh, why don't
Oh.
you fucking
Why don't you help me out of bed?
pop me out of bed? Because even we forgot to mention earlier, Mr. Joe Peck talks about
it says
say
that
hi to your
say
Grandpa
hi to your
Joe.
Grandpa Joe for me. How you know my Grandpa Joe?
Because he's out
Because he be out here getting the paper
In the
middle of
night?
the night.
in the
You
night
guys
while
meeting up at the fucking
poor
gambling
Mrs.
club.
Bucket is fucking stirring up
Her
laundry
laundry
fucking
stew.
stew
Yeah.
into the wee hours of the morning, working herself to fucking death. She's 25.
If she's a day.
If she's a day.
So he reads this ticket about, oh, you can bring one person. He's like, oh, I wish you could go, Grandpa Joe, and let. All of a sudden, lo and behold. So at first you're like, oh, he's like all, his muscles
No.
are atrophied. He can't even like bend.
No.
Takes him a couple tries
He's
to
got
get
a
out of
whole
bed.
fucking dance number, this
But within
motherfucker.
30 seconds, this motherfucker who ain't been out of bed in 20
I got
years.
a golden ticket.
I
no.
Sir.
You, bitch.
This boy found this money and bought these bars. This is not your motherfucking golden ticket.
This ain't
This
shit
is
for
Charlie's
you.
golden
You shouldn't
ticket.
even be going.
No, mom should be going.
Oh, now that you're out of fucking bed, get a job.
And like, get me my slippers. Why you even got slippers? You ain't
What?
been out of bed
Yeah,
in
you
20
ain't been out of
years.
bed because the floor's so fucking cold. This motherfucker.
I'm telling you.
I hate him. I hate
I
him
gotta
so
tell,
fucking hard.
I do kind of love this song though. Like
I do. I got a golden twinkle in my eye. I never thought that I could see. Over the
I know
hills
he
of
has the whole
ecstasy.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I do kind of love his song.
I do. But fuck
But yeah,
him.
he gets his cane. He's running around the room.
Oh yeah,
skipping,
bringing my fucking cane, clicking his fucking heels.
fucking making a mess, throwing clothes all over.
Oh,
More
this
shit for
bitch!
mom to
Like
clean
you're
up.
mixing up my fucking laundry. I gotta.
And Charlie tells him after his dance is over that Slugworth stopped
Oh.
him on the way home.
Oh well, that doesn't surprise me.
So now, 42 minutes into the film,
We're
We're at the
finally
factory.
At the factory. It's
the
factory
whole
day.
town out here.
Big excitement. All the news outlets are there.
The clock strikes 10, and here comes Wonka, but he got a cane.
What the fuck?
A very
Everyone gets
bendy
like
cane,
dead
though.
silent.
Yes.
And this apparently, like, he insisted.
Yes, he said he would
he
not do the
wouldn't
movie
do it
unless
he
they
could
let
do
him
this
do
shit.
this.
And he had to practice this tumble.
Of course.
But like they wanted him to like rehearse with,
All the
everybody
people.
there or whatever. He's like, no, we can't. They have to see it.
This has to be
at
their
that
first,
moment.
yeah.
It has to be like the whole thing. We cannot rehearse this with everybody there. So he comes out. Clock strikes 10. Comes out with a cane. Everyone gets silent. Everyone's looking like, oh fuck.
Oh,
He's like
crippled.
he's
leg
crippled.
disabled.
He's leg disabled. And then he like the
Sticks his cane in the
gets-
cobblestone.
Oh, and he like reaches for it and does ba-da-ba-ba.
Does a little forward somersault and flips up, and everyone's like,
Yes, and he
"Whoa!"
did this so that you wouldn't be sure.
whether he's telling the truth or not.
And
Because right off the
he
bat, he a
plays
liar.
this. I don't know if this was like 100% Gene Wilder, but every
Well,
single
the way
choice,
he talked about it in that thing we watched, it seemed like he put that into this character. That
it
that's
makes
not
you want to be in on his
necessarily-
kid. It makes you want to be in on his kid. It makes you not want to be an asshole kid.
When he talks about that, like, this was about setting boundaries.
Right.
And that kids need boundaries, whether they think they do or not, and they want to know where's the line. And this movie teaches you,
right, like,
here's the line.
That's
like,
it.
you can get up to it, get away with it up to a certain
tells
point.
you, but he's not going to insist.
This is on you to learn this lesson.
You make the choice.
He's not going to beat your ass with his own hand.
Nope.
But
you're
will
going to
you
beat your ass with your own behavior.
Exactly. So he welcomes them all into the factory.
Yes,
We've
he
got
likes
so much
Veruca's
time and so
coat.
little to see. Wait
Nope,
a minute.
Wait, scratch
Strike
that. Reverse it.
So they go in, they hang their coats up on these actual human gold
Oh my God, they
painted
start
hands.
screaming.
Yeah. That's a weird way to start out, for sure.
It's like Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. When they have the
are those
hands
Oompa
that come out.
Loompas?
No, it was just people that were on that did the.
What I mean, like, what? You hired real people to stand there and take
No,
your
it's
coats? Or that's
magic.
supposed to- oh, okay. It's just magic. Got it.
Magic.
Got it.
Magic.
And he asked the children to come up and sign this giant contract.
And Mr. Bogart's like, up.
My Violet doesn't sign anything.
Nope, not without
And
my
Mr.
lawyer.
Salt's like, well, she don't sign. My Veruca don't sign.
Right, and he's like, if they don't sign, they don't go in.
And Veruca's like,
I'm going to sign
I'm
this.
going.
I'm going in. So Mr. Bogart's like, I use this myself. Like,
These are for
contracts are for
suckers.
suckers. And they are like, blah. So he gets them all to sign because no one's going in without doing it. Yes. Yeah. We're good. In we go.
and he sends them into this like dead end narrow
Well, it's
hallway.
like 99, 44, 100% pure. And then they go in
to
that
get
little
in.
thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, we can't. There's no other door. Like, just go out the other door. And there's no other door. And they come around and he's like, oh, no, here it is. He's like, well, no, we just come through there. He's like, did we? And he opens it up. And it's a
this-
whole nother hallway.
Right. This long hallway full of doors.
And like, oh, he's getting shorter. Or no, the hallway's getting shorter. No, he's not. He's getting taller.
And Mr. Salt's like, is this some sort of fun house? And he's
Why?
like, why?
Having fun? Oh, I love it. I love it. This is like the thing with like Young Frankenstein, where it's like he's got that twinkle in his eye.
Right.
Where like it's always
So like
it's
you
not
don't think of him as
sinister,
being sinister.
It's sarcastic.
Right.
Everything
That
is
dry.
so sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Having fun?
So they can't get out backward. They have to go forward
No,
to
we
go
have
back.
Exactly.
And so the hall gets smaller as they go. And he's like, you're about to enter the nerve center to the entire factory.
The chocolate
And he plays his little musical.
Rachmaninoff, which is not.
No.
It's Mozart.
And plays his little keyboard to get in.
And it's a tiny door. So like you're not getting me through that tiny door. And then when they open the door,
The whole wall opens or
it's
something.
a big door.
Yeah.
And this was their
First
all of
time
their first
reaction. Yeah. The first time they ever saw this room.
That's so cool. This is like the pirate ship in Goonies.
Right.
Where they were like, they saved it, but they couldn't
Yeah,
use
they
it. But
saved
this
it.
one they were
Mhm.
able to use because no one swore, apparently.
Right.
Corey Feldman wasn't there.
He tells them that everything they see is eatable, edible.
I mean, you could eat almost everything.
Tells them not to lose their heads. We wouldn't want anyone to lose that
No.
yet.
Yes.
He adds a fucking yet.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, like
And
it
then-
comes in
okay.
a little bit at a
also,
time.
this whole thing when he's doing the step up, step back.
Oh
and the,
God, with that whack in the cane.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Take a look,
And you'll see what.
Yeah, so love this whole song.
When he pulls
This
out Mike Teevee's head,
tension-filled-
they
yeah.
got hit a lot.
from the cane,
Violet and Veruca, because they were right there.
got their
on that,
hands smacked with the cane.
They got bruises because
Oh,
they
wow.
got hit. Well, they were in the way. They
learning
were
a
in the way.
lesson.
And I bet you anything, Gene Wilder really pulled hair out of Mike Teevee's head.
Probably
I
because
love
he was
that.
a problem.
I used to do that to my brother. I know we talked about like Liana used to do that to her sister. I used to do it to my brother. That's what happens when you have a younger sibling.
So yeah, they get down to the bottom. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Wanna change the world?
Pluck.
There's nothing to it. And he finally releases them into the factory.
Yeah, bends over and lets them go. And if you see Veruca, when she goes and busts that, she did not realize, because they told him everything in here, like a lot
I
of
think
the
they
stuff
said
in here.
really a third of everything was
it.
edible.
And which is weird because
The lollipops they said were
were
real, and those looked so much like an
Those looked
inflated
fake to
balloon. That
me.
looked like the fakest thing was the lollipops.
So the thing is that she banged down on this rock, and you can see her knee is bloody.
Oh, I
guess
didn't
she
even notice.
carries a scar to this day.
Oh, wow.
Where she cut it up on the fucking. And if you look, her knee is bloody. But when she goes down to bust the little chocolate thing open, I want the big gummy bearer.
Yes.
I want that thing that Mr. Beauregard had. I don't want to eat the chocolate with my hand, but I want the mushroom.
The cream from the mushroom.
And I'm so okay.
We're gonna talk about that
We're
teacup.
gonna talk about that. I am so disappointed
that was wax.
that with everything that is eatable, you could eat almost everything in this
make
place.
this teacup edible.
You couldn't make it sugar.
Right?
Like spun sugar.
Or
It was
something.
wax and he spit it out. That always looked like
It
the
looked
most
so buttery.
delicious part to me.
And it gave me like
looked
Alice in
with the-
Wonderland vibes.
Yes,
Yeah.
with like whatever's in it. It's like doing the what is it? The honeysuckle?
Yeah.
When it tastes like honeysuckle when you drink it. When you bite it, it's sugar.
It's like
it's
sugar,
butter sugar.
honey, butter
Yes,
flavor, kind of.
It's so good in my mind.
Yeah.
And it's not that. With
Nope.
everything that was edible.
I know.
Not that.
I know.
It's so upsetting.
And they actually, so for a moment here now, the difference between, and I don't remember if it said about the book, but in the Tim Burton version, these kids remain shitty bastards throughout the scene. They destroy shit.
Yeah.
They're being fucking greedy.
They're worse
But
than
in
that
this
one.
version, they actually
No.
become just
Right,
quiet,
they're-
sweet,
they're
normal.
all
They're doing
enjoying
childlike
this whole-
wonderment. The
this
parents
is the
are
last
in wonderment.
moment
Yeah.
before
The craziness sets in.
yeah, right. And like so they talk about
The
they're all
waterfall.
running around whatever. And
They see the water and they're like, oh,
Mrs.
industrial
Gloop is
waste.
like, oh, what a disgusting, dirty river.
and it
he's
was
like, no,
not
it's
industrial
chocolate.
waste, but it was just dirty water.
It was like water, cream, and
Oh.
chocolate. Like I guess the original thing that went through it, like it turned bright red
Oh.
because of the bacteria.
Oh, no. Poor Augustus.
I know.
And he said it was cold and he had to do
Right,
it a lot
like
of
it
times.
was gross, but it wasn't very deep. Like he had to
He said it was
pretend-
only, there was one sinkhole where he fell. He said
Oh,
it was only
okay.
3 feet deep or less,
Or-
or
yeah, yeah.
even less, like 6
I
inches
think
deep
it
or
was
something.
like inches.
But then the one spot where he fell, they put like a 3 foot deep
Yeah.
sinkhole where he could actually fall down
right.
into the hole.
And it was like it was gross. It was like a mixture of all of this shit. So he
Oh,
falls
but before
in.
that happens, we meet the Oompa Loompas.
Oh,
Duh.
well,
we got ahead of ourselves.
we kind of did, but we kind of
Because
did.
they talk about the river
They do. They talk about the
and
river
mixing
and
it by
like,
waterfall.
Willy Wonka's like, oh, that's like the nerve center of all of my shit. Like that is mixing
My
it's
secret,
actually
yeah.
churning my chocolate.
And then you see the Oompa Loompas come out.
Well, no, Augustus is touching it
No.
first. No,
Is he? No, not yet.
are you sure?
First, because they all stand by the side of the
Oh,
river and
right.
watch the
They're all
Oompa
looking
Loompas
at the
first,
thing,
and then
he's
while
like,
they're
"Look,"
doing
like,
that,
Charlie
he
is
gets
like,
they're all
"Look, there's
distracted
little
looking
men."
at Oompa Loompas.
And he's like, oh yeah.
They're from
Loompas,
Loompa Land.
Yeah, Loompa Land. And
Clearly.
like, Mrs. TV is like,
I'm a geography teacher.
oh, so you know all about it.
You know, like there's beasts everywhere, like
Right,
wang doodles,
like snozwangers
horns
and wang doodles
wogglers,
and vermicious knids.
rotten vermicious canids.
Right.
What kind of rubbish is that?
Right.
And I love every time someone asks a question, he has a different answer. But it's like,
Yes.
I'm sorry, all questions must be submitted in writing. Like he has some
I'm a
way to
trifle
defer.
deaf in this ear.
Yes, he
Open
does
your
not
mouth a
answer
little wider when
questions.
you speak. That's very Alice in
It is,
Wonderland.
yes, very much. So yeah, they're all
So now Augustus, he's in the river, and like Willy Wonka's
Yes.
like, no, wait, like my
stop.
river
Because he
shouldn't be
really does.
touched by-"
This is the one time he does actually kind of urgently want him to
right,
stop
he's like,
because
my
of his
river
chocolate.
must not be touched by human
Yeah.
hands. Like he's more concerned about the chocolate. And Augustus falls in.
Yes.
He can't swim.
And she's like, do something. He's like, help,
Help,
police,
police,
murder.
murder.
And it's like, no, well, it's too
No,
late
well,
now.
the suction's got
Suction's
him now.
got him.
He can't swim. Well, now's no better time to learn.
Watch the pipe.
Oh, there he goes up the pipe, and he was like,
Joe's telling Charlie, remember when we talked about how a bullet gets out of a gun?
tremendous pressure is building up underneath him, and
Well, he's over here. The suspense is terrible. Eating candy, Wonka.
I hope it'll last.
last.
Oh God, it's so.
I love him
it's
so much.
So good.
I love him so much. And so, yeah, he shoots
Like,
up out
I
of
don't
the
even
pipe.
know what you would call this. I don't know what you
I
would
don't
call
know.
that.
Sardonic wit. I don't know.
I
don't
mean,
even
I
know what
guess,
you-
but it's like it's not
it's dark,
necessarily. It is,
Yeah.
but like it's
dry,
dusky.
dark. Yeah, I don't know.
Dusky?
wit. Dusky,
Yeah.
dry wit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the pipe shoots him out,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, don't be silly. He doesn't go to the marshmallow room. It goes to
No.
the fudge room."
You boiled him up. I know it.
And he whistles his little pipe. And here come the Oompa Loompas.
Mhm.
Oompa.
Loompa
Doopity doo. I've
You've
got
got
a
a
perfect puzzle for you. Oompa loompa doopity dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me.
What do you get when you guzzle down sweets?
Eating as much as an elephant eats.
Where are you at? Getting terribly fat. What do you think will come of that? Do. I don't like the look of it.
So yes, we get a little moral story song. This
Right.
time about gluttony.
If you're not greedy, you will go far.
Mm-hmm.
You will live in happiness too.
Like the
Oompa Loompa Doopity doo.
And now-
Doopity.
And so these songs were not the ones
No.
written in the book, but the
No.
ones that Deep Roy sings, I think, were actually the lyrics from the books,
Oh.
but they did the music all in these more modern genres. I have only watched it twice, and I only watched it the second time because I did that other podcast, and I had to watch it again, and I did not like it. And I like Deep Roy.
I do too.
I like Tim
He's got a
Burton.
racing snail.
Yeah,
No, I don't like
him
all
as
the
all the
Oompa
Oompa
looking the same. I don't
Loompas.
like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
The newest one is not bad. I really liked
I
Hugh
still need to
Grant.
watch it.
Hugh Grant was Willy Wonka as an Oompa Loompa. That's my word.
And before we get into the boat ride,
Are we doing it? Yeah. No, we're gonna have to
Want to take a break before we talk about
because we're gonna have to.
the boat ride?
Yeah. Oh. Because I went on
We need
a
to
journey.
take a break.
I went on a journey this morning that I'm gonna have to tell you about.
Well, you know what? Tell them that part now.
Should I?
Yeah,
Before
tell
we
them
get
that
there.
part now, because we're about
Okay.
hour 2 in. So
So this morning, in my infinite wisdom, I decided that I was going to watch the movie because I hadn't yet. So I got up. It was like 8:00 in the morning.
insane.
8
I was
o'clock
still
in the
asleep.
morning. Well, like I came home and I went right to bed. I was here.
After last night.
Well, because it was early.
Yeah,
I went home. It was like 10:30 when I got home. So yeah,
yeah.
it was fine. I went to bed, nice and whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna get up in the morning, watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Everything's gonna be cool because we're recording tonight. So I got up early in the morning. No one else was up. I made coffee. I smoked a bowl. I started listening to our episode, the fucking Clifford
Clifford one?
episode this morning. And then I went in and I was like, you know what I have? I have mushroom chocolate still. I think I have like
Your chocolate sounds Willy Wonka-ish.
right.
Come
It's
on.
Willy Wonka-ish.
Chocolate for
I
breakfast.
think I have like a square, maybe 2, maybe 4. And I went and looked. I had 6.5.
Thank God you didn't take them all.
Oh no, I would never. I would never. So there was one loose. So I ate it. It was like half of a square. And then I nibbled off like a quarter. And I was going to settle in and watch the movie. And I was like, whoa! Before I even got to the goddamn fucking factory.
My theory is empty stomach, and you
I'm
melted
sure.
that chocolate with the hot
With coffee,
and you activated it like.
I had
I'm
to
eating,
eat like,
I'm eating gummy bears. over here.
I had to
Cinnamon
eat
bears.
pulled pork. to fix it. I was like, I gotta eat something. I gotta eat something. I was
take a
like, I was
shower.
doing laps in my house. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta do laundry. I gotta get towels.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not gonna make it through the boat scene like
I know.
this.
I was like, I fucked up. I was like, the boat scene might kill me. I'm gonna need to take a fucking break before I do it. I don't know why I thought it was like, oh, I have chocolate and it's Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory.
Mushroom seems like a good idea.
Sure, I'm all by myself. No one's up.
Mm-hmm.
It's early in the morning.
So you've been warned if you're gonna take some mushrooms before you re-experience.
I mean, go
Willy
ahead
Wonka.
and do it. Just but
Maybe
be
not first thing in
prepared.
the morning.
maybe
That's all.
not first
That's
thing
all.
in the morning before you've had eaten anything.
Yeah, maybe have a little toast or something before.
Maybe.
Before you do that.
Maybe. I mean, I figured it was food. It was chocolate. Like it was a chocolate bar.
But just like she needed to take a break before the boat scene,
We need to now.
we'll be right back. Now. It's time
It's time.
for the boat ride.
So the boat comes around Wonkatania.
You're gonna love this.
Oh.
Just love it.
I know you will. She's très jolie, but is she seaworthy? It's on a fucking track, ma'am.
I know. Like, come on.
Where
it's
do you
like a
think? Where do you think you're gonna go?
it's
It
like an
doesn't
amusement park
open
boat.
to the fucking sea.
It's like it's a small world but scary.
Oh my god. Well, I guess speaking of which, it was on a track, but the little guy in the back doing the thing, or the one that was steering,
Yeah.
really thought that he was.
Oh no,
steering.
he was trying so
He
hard.
was steering for his fucking life.
And so at first it's a nice little boat
Oh
ride.
yeah, it's real pretty.
Floating
It's
down
like,
the
oh,
chocolate
yeah.
river.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But there's
And
a dark
like
tunnel coming.
he talks about Veruca first, because she's a lady. If she's a lady, I'm a vermicious knid.
Oh yeah, Joe with his roasts there. Where
right.
I'm like,
And like Violet, he's talking about like Miss TV is talking about getting sick. He's like, oh, have one of these things. It'll make you spit in like 6 different
she's all
colors.
spitting's a terrible habit. or
I know,
something.
worse one.
Violet. who's
She's like
picking
her nose. I guess she hated doing that because her and Veruca had a crush on Charlie, and she
Really?
didn't want to. I know, with all 4
All them
teeth. in his-
teeth?
Did you
Don't
see
he
the
have too many
alternatives?
teeth for you?
Did
I
you
know. What
see
was
the
it? Was
alternative?
Mike or
Well, because Mike TV was a dick
Little
the
brat,
whole time. He was
yeah.
a little brat the whole time. So whatever.
Wow. So yeah, they
So-
didn't want to do embarrassing things in front of Charlie.
Right. And like, Daddy, I want a boat like this.
And so they get to this tunnel and the music changes.
Oh, we got to go faster. Fast.
Faster.
Fast.
Faster. And the lights start changing.
What is this, a freak out?
And Charlie and Grandpa Joe are like, they kind of dig it.
He's like,
This
it's
is
strange, but it's
fun.
fun.
And
then
suddenly the images on the walls are like lizards and chickens
It's
getting their
getting
heads
weird,
cut off
and
and
then-
bugs.
Wonka. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going.
There's no knowing where we're rowing,
or
which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a blowing?
Ah!
Not
Not a speck of lighting showing, so the danger must be growing.
Are
Is the fires of hell a glowing? Is the grizzly reaper mowing? Yes! The danger must be growing, 'cause the rowers keep on rowing, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing. Ah!
This has gone far enough!
You're right, sir. Stop the boat!
And they stop at
We're
the inventing
here.
room.
Oh, you know this shit was like one of them little motion ride things.
Oh
They
my
didn't go
God.
nowhere. They didn't go nowhere.
No. Oh,
it
the
was a
peaks on
freak
this
out.
girl.
I'm sure.
You gotta see the screen. We're
I
gonna
know
have
it
to
is.
fucking
I
level
know
that
it
shit
is. It
out.
looks like a fucking seismograph.
It does
7.9.
At least.
We
Oh.
just sent San Francisco into the sea with that shit.
Oh my God. And the
How could
Marilyn
you
Manson
not-
version. I hate that I love it,
Oh.
but I fucking love it.
There's no knowing where we're going.
Yes. And that what was the name of the album?
Alban smells like
Alvin
children.
Simon Theodore smells like children, which is probably what this whole set smelled like.
I am the god of fuck.
Oh, god damn it! Why do I love that music still?
The girls taste like girls and the boys taste like boys.
Oh, we didn't even. No, wait. Are we?
No, we're
there
not
yet?
there yet.
Okay, we're not there yet.
We're
Okay.
not, but we're gonna bring it up again.
So they get to the inventing room, and Mike Teevee, now that it's over, is kind of into the
Right.
whole.
Well, he was like, she's like, I don't want a boat like this. And he's
Oh
like,
yeah,
this
Veruca's
is-
like, never mind.
This is the inventing room. Like, this is secret.
Yeah, that you cannot speak to anyone, but he speaks all this German to them for some reason before letting them in the room, and the only German kid is dead. So I don't know why you're speaking German to them. No one understands what you're saying.
Because he's a psychopath.
And so he's like, no touching, no tasting, no smelling, and they're like, no smelling.
Right.
Like, how do we keep from
Hair
smelling?
cream?
Yeah, so and he mentioned Slugworth. That Slugworth would do whatever to get his hands
He would
on
give
something
his
in
eye
this room.
teeth to get in here. And he's like, even if he got in here, you can't see shit.
Because it's all trashed. There's
Everything's
just, like, garbage
covered
everywhere.
up in shrouds and like there's like shit everywhere. He puts those shoes in the thing.
In
He's like,
springtime, the only pretty ringtime.
birds
He's
sing, a ding,
riding the bicycle
a
that
ding, a
mixes
sweet
something.
lover's love.
And he's putting
the
like
spring-
weird shit into all these vats.
Right, the shoes, it needs a kick.
Because it gives it a kick.
Mhm.
And Mike put something in his mouth that he
Right.
shouldn't.
Yeah, it's exploding gum for your enemies.
Still too weak.
Right.
Like,
It's
it
oh,
knocked
your
him on his
teeth.
ass. How fucking
Well,
strong
because
you gonna make
it didn't kill him, so we need more.
This is like the Acme candy factory.
It
right here.
is. And
So,
he's
yeah.
like, oh, better rum, better gin.
Candy is dandy, but
liquor is quicker.
Wonka is drunk as hell.
I know. He's
During
hammering.
this whole thing.
He's eating them chocolates I had.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
So anyway, alarms go off. And he's like, no, don't look under there. That's it.
Right,
That's
'cause
the
they're
biggest thing.
peeking
That's
under
the most
some-
top secret thing that I have. This one's really going to sizzle old Slugworth.
Mm-hmm. This
This-
is the everlasting.
Did you say
Gobstopper.
everlasting gobstopper? And he's mouthing it as she does it. I fucking love it.
And he's like, this is, you can suck on them forever and ever, and they never get smaller. And I'm sorry, but
The
that looks like the most
shape-
uncomfortable fucking candy
And it
to
never
suck on
gets
ever.
any smaller.
It ain't getting softer. It ain't getting smaller. You're just going to be sucking on this. It's like when you played
I mean-
jacks. It looks like a fucking jack.
I like a little mouth roof torture.
Little
I
Captain
like
Crunch torture, sure.
sure.
But that goes away.
An astro pop when you suck it down to its pointiest and you can use it as a weapon. Do they still
When
make
it's a
those?
shank.
Can you only get it at a world market now because they
Probably.
don't like have those anymore? So yeah, like he's like, no, you can't. That's the everlasting gobstopper, and he's like, how do you make them? He's like, I'm a trifle deaf in this ear.
Yes.
You
So
have
he
to
gives
speak up.
them, they beg and beg. He gives them
Right.
each one, but they have to promise. You keep them
know-
to yourselves. You never show anybody as long
You
as
never
you live.
tell another living soul as long as you live. And Veruca's back there with her fingers,
Fingers
crossed. At least she
crossed.
has enough integrity
To know
to
she's
cross
lying.
her
Yes.
fingers behind her back. I mean, at least there's that. She's terrible, but no
And
one
you don't
else
actually
did that.
see anybody eat it. They all just
No,
put it in their
they're
pocket.
taking
'Cause
it to
they're gonna
fucking
take it to
Slug-
Slugworth.
They're
Duh.
going to take it to
I'm surprised
Slugworth.
Charlie didn't just pop it in his mouth.
He couldn't. Well, he had a lot of space because he only has 14.
That's what I'm
You're right,
saying. It
you're
might
right,
have been
you're
better
right,
for
you're
Charlie
right.
than anyone else.
Well, because he has very little
It's not
pocket
going to
money.
click on them teeth. And he has very
click,
little
click.
pocket money. Exactly.
He's got very little pocket money.
very little. But
Well,
now it's,
yeah, Grandpa Joe would have taken it.
that's true. And they get to the gum machine.
Oh, by gum, it's gum.
Button,
Wrong.
Button. Who's got the button? Anytime anybody says
Oh,
button
I know.
to this
But-
day.
well, in
Button,
that and
Button, who's
Alice
got
in
the button?
Wonderland.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels here.
Which is no, that's Lewis Carroll. Never mind.
Mm.
That's a different person. I get them mixed up. But yeah, and like Charlie's like, it's over there, and he's like, this one over here in my factory that I created myself and I installed that button. This one.
Right?
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you. So he starts up this machine and it's like processing tomatoes and beef and, all
fucking
of this
Mr.
stuff.
Beauregard has Violet up there sticking her fingers in the fucking.
Right? With the little chomper thing coming down.
She'll lose a finger. It's not sanitary.
And he explains that this is gum.
Oh,
It gives
right.
you the taste of a 3-course dinner.
Right. And she's like, oh, as long as it's gum, that's for me.
That's
He's
my
like, no,
jam.
stop. Don't. Eat it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Stop it.
And he's like, I told you I hadn't got it quite right because she's going through. She's like,
Right. She's
tomato
like, no,
soup.
back the fuck off. It's so good. I can feel it running down
my throat.
And she's like, this is how I feel about when you eat a Jelly Belly and you have the buttered popcorn one.
The savory flavor.
Where it's like that savory flavor and you can like actually it tastes like you're eating buttered popcorn.
Right.
Like that's how I feel about like
So yeah,
if
you
I
could
could
do,
liken
like-
it to
Yeah.
anything, it would be that. Like I would have this if it
I
didn't
would
turn
try
me into a
it.
blueberry.
Yeah, I would try
If
it.
he would have
a
perfected
savory gum,
it. Ooh.
a tomato
Ooh,
soup, then a
a
roast
cum
beef and
gum.
mashed potatoes.
A cum gum that was like Bloody Mary flavored.
We've been looking for this.
I
I've been on
know.
a quest for this cum gum, and it does not exist anymore. I
No?
got duped with the goddamn Hubba
I know.
Bubba
I
Max,
told you,
but I had already
told you
bought
because
it.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did
And they
that.
make the packaging like where the middle looks
They
all
make it-
shiny,
but
like it's
not.
liquid. It ain't.
It's gum, but it's a
just
different
gum.
color. I wonder if you could peel off. I would be satisfied if you could like peel off the
The
first
outside.
layer and then eat it, and then like nibble at the little middle
I
part.
gotta tell you, it does blow a mean bubble though.
Well, it's Hubba Bubba.
I almost
It
got
better.
stuck to my eyebrows. Gazoon tight.
Thank you. It's fucking Hubba Bubba. It's
But
better.
she doesn't blow bubbles with it.
No, she fucking
Turns blue. You're
Yeah.
turning violet. Violet.
Violet. You're turning violet. Violet. It always goes wrong at the desserts,
And she
they
starts
all turn into blueberries.
to fill up with juice.
Oh yeah, that's juice. That's not air. So we gotta
For the Oompa Loompas to take her to the juicing room.
right.
And I'm not going to sing the whole
Oompa
thing, but we get
Loompa
another
doo doo.
song.
Yeah.
About
Chewing is fine, or chewing
gum
of
chewing
gum
being
is
gross.
fine once in a while. Stops you from smoking and brightens your smile. But it's repulsive, revolting, and wrong. Chewing and chewing all day long. Do, the way that a cow does. Yeah.
So yeah, they drag her dad out after her, roll her out to the juicing room, and move on with the tour.
Right. Doopity doo. Which I guess like later on, a year later, 2 years later, that shit would come up in her pores.
Oh, the blue stuff?
The blue shit.
really?
Yeah. And I guess also they filmed this over like breaks or lunch breaks or whatever. So they had to like roll her so that she didn't get like a blood clot to keep.
Oh my god!
Because she was like
They,
weightless.
why did they even really put her in there to roll
I don't
her?
know, because it was the 70s.
It wasn't
of course. Like they weren't.
close-ups.
They didn't have to have a stunt person.
Ugh.
It was just her. That's why she's the one that's already dead.
Oh no, because she was full of blue
She's the only one
dye.
that's dead. Everybody else is still alive.
That's true. Two
That's
naughty,
true.
nasty little children gone.
Three
good,
good,
sweet little children
children
left.
left.
Willy Wonka says.
Oh man.
And that's when they go through the lickable wallpaper room.
yes.
Okay, even pre-COVID,
I know it's gross. It's
you
disgusting.
don't want people's tongues on
Well,
your
no
wallpaper.
one's ever gone in there. They're, ostensibly, these
So
are
no
like
one.
the first
So yeah,
people that have done
this thing they're not probably exchanging licks with
No.
anyone else. But
it. And if it's
if
like,
you put it in your house,
well, yeah.
you want guests licking.
Well,
your,
he says for nurseries, like if it, like you're the only one that's
I
licking
guess if
it.
you're just letting babies.
Well,
lick
what's
it,
his name? Charlie Bucket, Peter Ostrum said like it was not flavorful.
wallpaper,
It
it was
tasted
just
like
wallpaper.
wallpaper.
And I don't need to see Grandpa Joe licking the wall.
I don't need to see him lick fucking anything.
Never.
Oh, and also, by the way, apparently that snozzberry thing is not true.
What was the snozzberry thing?
The thing that it's like a euphemism for a dick.
it was just one of those.
It was just the
funky
thing that it was
things
a rumor
Willy
that went
Wonka
out there.
says.
Sorry, guys. I liked it too.
Snozzberries are just a fictional berry.
Snozzberries is just a made up word. It's not a euphemism for a dick. in
Who ever
Victorian
heard of a
times.
snozzberry?
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers
of
of the dreams.
And so,
He grabs her face.
yeah, it squeezes it.
Oh,
So then he takes them to the fizzy lifting drink room.
right. And they're like, "Oh, let us have some." He's like,
No,
"No, no,
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 no. It's too
far
powerful."
too powerful." He's let them pick at everything else. But this,
even
he's
something
putting
that blew someone across the room and filled
Right.
someone up like a blueberry.
they didn't ask.
True. He
They
did
didn't
tell
ask,
them no.
and he did try to say, "Don't do it."
And the same thing happens here. He
I
says,
guess he's trying.
not a good idea.
I'm holding that upside down. That was not going to
No,
help.
not good.
Nothing. But yeah, no. Like he proactively is like, "Do not
Do
touch
not
this
take.
shit."
Yeah, it's too powerful. It's gonna fuck you up. So of course, when they walk off, bastard Grandpa
This
Joe is like, "Hey,
motherfucker is
Charlie."
like, "Hey, Charlie,
The thing that he said lifts you off the
Let's
ground
not
and is
do-
too powerful.
let's
Why
have
don't we
some-
have a
a
sip?
little sip won't hurt."
And
like,
then
how
as
do
soon
you
as they
fucking
float
know?
up, he starts panicking.
Have
like,
you
"Oh
not
no!"
seen what the fuck has happened today?
Well, when you talk about "oh no," that the whole thing was it lifts you up in the fucking air.
Oh,
What did you
no.
think was gonna happen?
Oh no! Did
Oh no, it did exactly what he said it was.
oh
gonna do.
shit!
Oh my god.
It
What
works,
a fucking surprise!
and it's too powerful.
And so they almost
They
get
enjoy
chopped
it
up
for
in
a
the
second.
industrial
They're
fan.
like, "Oh wee, it's all fucking fine." And okay,
And if it
they
weren't
go
for a
up to-
panic burp,
right?
they'd
Thankfully,
be beheaded.
beheaded.
Beheaded. But so they
Beheaded.
burp themselves down.
Right,
They
they
catch
get-
up with the group,
Mhm.
and they think nobody knows.
How do they know which way to get there?
I know.
They ain't never been in there.
I know.
How do they know?
And if they were that close, they didn't hear them in there. Help! Help!
Right, Mr. Wonka, turn off the fan. Well, because he didn't have a security system because no one's ever been in, no
That's
one ever
true.
comes out.
That's true.
He just has sleeves. He doesn't need to watch them. They love it.
He also doesn't care.
And he doesn't care.
he catches up to them in the giant geese room.
Oh, the golden goose.
Golden chocolate eggs they lay.
For Easter, but Easter's over.
Shh.
They don't
I'm
know
doing
that.
slave labor on the geese too.
Right?
Shut up.
They don't know that. I'm getting ahead for next year.
And they have an egg-dicator to tell between
educated
the good
egg-dicator.
and bad eggs.
And I guess he came up with that. Jack Albertson did.
The egg-dicator.
Educated egg-dicator.
Oh, okay. So of course Veruca wants a golden
I want a
goose.
golden goose. Here we go again.
They're not for sale. She can't have one.
What? Who says I can't have one? The man with the funny hat.
Oh, and she just fucking loses her shit.
I want a goose that lays golden,
Gold
eggs for Easter. At least 100 a day.
100 a day.
And by the way, I want a feast. I want a bean feast.
Fucking bean feast.
Cream cakes and donuts and cupcakes with no nuts. So good you can go nuts. Give it to me now.
So yes, we get our temper tantrum song, which she said in that thing, like they kept telling her, like, no, go
Be
bigger,
worse,
be
be
worse.
worse.
Like, we need you to really fuck shit up. So
And
she's like kicking shit
smacking that
over.
shit. And I don't want to share it.
10,000 tons of ice cream.
And if I don't get the things that I am after, I'm going to scream.
And that's when she just starts demolishing shit.
Right.
And she climbs up on the egg-dicator. Don't care,
Care
how
I want it now. Honk, honk. She was a bad egg.
She sure was.
And then here goes Mr. Salt.
Because where'd she go? The garbage chute.
Well, Mr. Salt finally got what he wanted. Veruca went first.
Hold on, Veruca, sweetie. Daddy's coming.
It's the garbage chute, but they only ever light it every other Tuesday.
She's got a good chance.
Yeah, it's fine.
And we get
Anyway.
our Oompa Loompa song about greed.
Right? Oh, what do you do when your kid is a brat? Spoiled and pampered like a Siamese cat.
Yeah. So we get now Mrs. Teevee is tired of walking.
Oh, no. Can I just fucking sit down for a minute? Like, no, ma'am. We have to press on. We have transportation.
The Wonka mobile is ready.
Mhm.
And it's filled with carbonation, all kinds of soda.
Bubble gin,
and
bubble cola, double bubble brick cola.
got more gas in it than a politician. And they get all covered in bubbles and starts like spitting fucking bubbles everywhere.
Wait, first he says, like, well, these children are disappearing like rabbits. At least we still have each other. So, yeah, they get in this thing and they only go, he's like, I'm really going to
Barely.
open her up.
And he
I'm
goes
gonna
like
see
a
what she can
mile an
do.
hour.
They go like 12 feet.
And then they go through the Wonka wash and it
Right.
scrubs all the bubbles off of them.
Like, what just happened?
And now it's time to go to the TV room, but they got to put on their white jumpsuits and their goggles.
Their Cameron Diaz have to be
Yes,
invisible.
exactly. The Charlie's Angels outfit.
Right. But Mr. Wonka still has his hat on.
True.
Outside of that with the little slits like the fucking Lords of Chaos.
The slit goggles.
Yes.
So yeah, he tells them they're gonna check out Wonka Vision, his latest and greatest invention.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike's like, "Oh, I know how TV works."
Yeah, it says this is how it like chops it up in a bunch of little pieces. It's like the fucking fly.
And so he tells them he's doing this with real things, though. So he's
Right.
sending a chocolate bar, but it's
but
got
we
to
have
be
to
giant
Right, it's got to be really
because
big.
TVs were so little in the
It makes
70s.
the image is really small.
So he does it. They eat it. It's perfect.
Right.
And Mike's like, "Oh, can you send
other
people?"
things? Can you send people? He's like, "Well, I never tried." He's like, he just runs up there
And just hits the button and,
the fucking
transmits
Oompa
himself
Loompa,
to
he's
the
not
TV.
human.
Yeah, I know. So now he's 2 inches tall.
Well, there's Mrs. TV is like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
where'd he go?" And he's like, "Am I coming in clear?" I said, "Am I coming in clear?"
Because you said he picked up the
He
accent of
picked
the
up an
British
accent,
kids on
yeah,
set.
from the other kids.
But
yeah.
like, I would have made him record that shit again. You
They
did not have a
couldn't.
British
They
accent.
probably did it 87 times.
And he still said, "Clear."
clear. Am I coming in
In
clear?
clear.
They didn't have the budget.
So he calls the Oompa Loompas in to take him to the taffy pulling
Oh
room.
yeah, because boys of his age are especially
Really-
springy.
And
And
the Oompa Loompa whispers something, and he's like, "Oh no,
No,
I
I
won't
won't
hold you
hold you
responsible."
responsible.
So yeah, Mom faints. They like take her with them,
Right.
And we get our
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Oompa Loompa song about too much TV.
A glut of TV.
And now Wonka goes back to business as usual. It's
Yep.
time to finish his day. All the kids are dead.
Right. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's a total waste of the day. I gotta go. I got bills. I got letters."
And Charlie's like, "But what about the kids?" And he's like, "Oh, they'll be restored to their normal,
That'll
terrible
be
old
fine.
selves."
Yeah,
Maybe
and
they'll be
don't
a
worry
bit
about
wiser.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry about them. It's fine.
And so Joe's like, "Well,
so what do we
where's
do?
the
And he's like,
chocolate?
"No, you can see yourself out. It's cool."
And so he comes back in because he's like, "Well, what happened to the lifetime supply of chocolate?" And Wonka's like, "Oh, you don't get that.
Yeah, no.
You did under Section 37B
Right,
of the
you
contract signed by you.
stole fizzy and
lifting
this
drinks.
is like, it like
So
hurts
you get
me.
nothing.
Nothing.
You lose."
Good day, sir.
And Joe's like, "You're a crook.
You're
cheat,
an
swindler."
unhuman monster.
I said good
day.
day.
I said good day. That's my purse.
So Joe tells Charlie, "Let's go. Let's go
He's
give
like, if
Slugworth
Slugworth wants this
gobstopper."
shit, you'll get it. And so Charlie's like,
He goes
Mr.
back.
Wonka.
Puts a little gobstopper in front of Willy.
So shines a good deed in this weary world.
Charlie, my boy.
Oh, you did it.
You won. I knew you would.
I knew you would do it, and he knew he would do it.
And so I
because
think he only ever wanted Charlie, who lived right down the block and came and
he
stared in
coulda
the
just
window.
knocked at his fucking door because he wanted to murder children.
He wanted to murder
He
children.
wanted to like freak him out
and he purposely picked kids he knew were not going to
That
win
needed a
except for
lesson.
Charlie.
because Mr. Wonka, because the Candyman can.
Well, because the
he mixes it
contest
with
sold
love.
billions of bars of chocolate.
Well, that
So it was
too.
just a great marketing scheme. If he had just hired Charlie, well, then like he didn't make no money off
No,
that.
I
That's
know,
just
I
giving
know,
away your
girl,
company.
I know how marketing PR, and
PR,
PR,
PR.
PR and PR.
So yes, he's won, and he brings in Mr. Wilkinson.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
Slugworth.
Slugworth.
No,
That was
this
just
he
a
works
test.
for me. It was a
And you
test.
passed.
And you passed.
the jackpot, the grand and glorious jackpot.
Right. So he gets in this glass Wonka-vator.
It goes sideways, slantways, long ways, back ways, any way you can think of. Just press a
Always.
button and zing, you're off.
But I only have pushed all the buttons except for that one, the jolly candy-like button.
So Charlie pushes it
And here we go.
up and up, faster, faster. If we
We
don't pick
give-
up enough speed,
We'll never get through. Through what?
These all and Grandpa Joe's like, this room is made of glass. It will shatter and will be cut to ribbons. And he's like,
Probably.
Hold on. Here it
Here
comes.
it comes.
Out over the city.
Oh
we
my
fly.
God. And they could see all the things in my school and everything looks so pretty up here.
And Willie is giving him the factory.
Right. I knew I had to find a child, an honest, kind child,
loving child
to take over for me.
A grown-up would want to do things their own way.
Not my way. And don't forget what the guy got who suddenly got everything he ever wanted.
He
lived happily ever after. And I got a tear when I read that thing.
And that we watched that thing, and so that was not, I don't think, the original ending of the book, because it was more.
There was
books.
other things. There was supposed to
there was
be
a
like
glass
the elevator
book
was a
or something,
separate
right.
situation.
And so,
but like, what's his name? Peter Ostrum posted like when Gene Wilder died.
Yeah.
That like he's like a veterinarian and an ex-child actor and inherited a chocolate factory on August 29th of 2016 when Gene Wilder died. I got like
so sweet.
I know.
And so this one ends with just seeing them floating around in the glass elevator. Like,
he tells them everybody gets to move in, even motherfucking Grandpa Joe.
Motherfucking Grandpa Joe.
Who probably still goes out at night. The freaks
when you know it was really creepy in the Burton one, and maybe this is what they did in the movie, but they just moved their slanty shack into the factory. Remember how they lived in that really slanty shack in the Burton one?
Yeah.
He just took it and put it into the factory.
Like, you still have to live
You still have
here,
to live in this
like,
shit shack, but inside the factory.
Shack, baby, shit shack. Shit shack.
So yeah,
Shit,
I mean,
baby,
how did this
that's
movie
where
doom
it's
us? I
at.
feel like a lot
because
of ways.
fucking he killed those children, like the way that
and we thought that was fine.
Oh, I know, it was
that's
totally
what they
fine.
get.
They got. That's what you get.
You
that's
get
what you fucking
get. And that's why
what
you don't fucking be a brat,
right? I feel like we learned those lessons hard and fast in those days.
We did. And we learned like that dry humor from this early on.
Gene Wilder,
bless him.
Bless him.
Bless him.
Bless him. Bless him. Bless him. Between this and, like I said, Young Frankenstein, that the twinkle in his eye where you knew everything was really sarcastic, but like he might just kill you, but not if you're good.
But he might hug you. You just
he
don't
might.
know.
Like, you never know what's going to happen.
Whereas the Johnny Depp one, he was really
fully
did not
evil
like
100% of the time.
He had his own daddy issues. He wasn't trying to be nobody's.
I don't want it. I don't want anything to
no.
do with it. The only thing I wanted
to be your father. No, he
I
didn't want to
put
do
your
that.
tiny hand in mine.
That's a creepy
I
fucking
will
song.
be your preacher teacher. Oh, I love it.
So many things
I
wrong with that
went.
song.
Me and Amber went and saw when we used to drive up to Santa Barbara for a night and come back down.
Yeah.
When we went to go see the Drag Kings, there was this whole show, this whole bit about father figure. They would do like a lip sync to father figure, and there was like a friar and like a sailor, and they would do this weird like making out thing to father figure.
Okay.
It was kind of hot.
So we have one message. Well, hello there, Nicole and Tessa. 'Tis I, the lovely
Loretta.
Yes, you've heard about Loretta, and here is a message from her. I have been binge listening the past couple of weeks, getting caught up, and I wanted to thank you for the shout out in Troop Beverly Hills. I also very much appreciate you sharing my daughter's cookie link. She met her camp goal, so please pass along our thanks to your listeners.
Yay,
who may
we
have
did
placed
it, y'all.
orders. The following kudos are way overdue. I've been listening from the beginning, and your pod keeps getting better and better. Shout out to your research assistants, Kim and Liana, for keeping you two informed and adding a little bit of extra zing to your pods. Y'all keep doing what you're doing because it's fantastic. Now on to business.
Oh.
I was very excited to listen to your Stigmata episode as I really like this movie, so I made sure to listen on Easter Sunday as God intended.
Oh, bless you, Loretta.
From jump, y'all were hilarious as usual. Your questions about the different paths to priesthood were so great. As a non-practicing Catholic, all of your questions and comments had me rolling. I love learning all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like the Father Almeida that Gabriel Byrne was studying to be a priest, that Patricia and Nia did their own train stunts, and then at all the many times I've watched this movie, I had no idea it was set in Pittsburgh. In closing,
nobody did.
I enjoyed this episode very much, and I really want to see Tessa's Pope John Paul II World Tour shirt.
I gotta dig it out.
And from now on, I will only refer to baptism as being waterboarded by Jesus. Later.
Yes,
Thank
Loretta.
you, Loretta. and
Thank
she
you,
wants
Loretta.
to come
Oh,
sit in one day.
I was
So
gonna say you might get
we'll
a
have to-
special episode featuring
Loretta
the
as research assistant.
Loretta.
We should have had her for the Kids in the Hall episode.
Oh shit, that's right. Because she was
We're gonna
there.
have to find her. Yeah, we're gonna have to give her
But
the
she's
list.
gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to give her a list. We're gonna have to let her choose.
Yeah, which one do you
we're
want
gonna
to
have
be
let
here
her
for?
choose because Loretta deserves it.
She does.
She deserves it.
does.
She flashed Lawrence Flashburn. She deserves it.
That alone. deserves its own episode.
We've talked about her enough. She for sure deserves
Yeah.
to sit in.
She's been there since Batman.
That's right. So if you want a message read on the podcast, you can text or call 702-720-3666. 702-720-DOOM. Doompity-doo. You can go on Instagram at Doom Generation Pod to see all of our photo edits. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/Doom Generation.
Ooh, you're almost Micro Machine Man.
Oh man, I
I know
gotta
you
get
can.
it
No, I
down
know
like
you can.
Micro Machine Man.
I know,
style.
that'd
That
be
would be
so
amazing. And until next week.
Ooh, we'll talk at you next time.
Later,
Doomers.